let's see what do we have ahead. Okay, so in this section, like, are we underestimating Selenium? Because since the beginning of the session, I'm just talking about testing and testing. So is Selenium only about testing, or do we have other things in the basket? And yes, we do have. So let's see what all things we can check today. So first thing is web scraping, which you all might have known before, and you might have, some people might already know about it. In this, we'll see two ways. So what is the output generated by Selenium, and in which industry it acts as an input, and a real life example for the same. So in this case, we scrape data from the internet, and it is clean data. But the data which is extracted is clean. The data which we extract from is not usually clean, and this structured data can be used in multiple ways. We can use it for research purpose. We can use it for training some machine learning models, or like for analysis purpose. It is used. Okay, and this example is like if we scrape 50,000 Reddit info and some chats, you can say, like from some community post, and there are some comments mentioned about that. And because uh, comments have multiple sentiments, so we can use that data to have a sentiment analysis model, right? So this was one of the example of it. Let's move to the second one. Okay, this thing involves business process automation. See, right now we have proper web development, and we have proper APIs which return perfect data. So it is easier to access, and it is easier to like flow the data in and out. But there are some older legacy tools, legacy systems which don't have API on all. So in that case, you need this business process automation, where it is a proper pipeline which does the things and then adds it into other section. So where you can analyze it further, and it is easier to operate over the data. And one example here I have mentioned is like some form 16s are to be collected for a company, for the employees of the company. So they have a tool placed there which downloads all the form 16 forms, and on a dashboard the data is populated, and they can easily check it. So if a manual person does it, it will take lots of time, but with this pipeline you just have to run it on demand, and the things are done for you, right? Okay, so this was about business process automation. Then the third thing is monitoring bots and workflow. So this is one of the, you can say, the crazy use of automation here, and Selenium is used for these. It is usually with the alerts. So there are various like even for cybersecurity, as I mentioned, we have those denial of service attacks and all. So you can see like if there are too many requests going on, the load on the server increases. So you, these alerts make sure like whatever the things are, they are in control, and if anything goes beyond that, they start raising alerts, and then the person can just check it, right? Because this thing, if a person manually does it, you need a lot of observation, and it is a bit difficult to see the minor fluctuations. But bots with the proper restriction criteria, they do this thing perfectly well. Then in e-commerce I have very nice example mentioned down there that we'll discuss. And in case of trading, you must have watched some reels where they mention like, I have added this AI for this testing strategy, and it trades for me. I'm not sure if it can trade and it won't put you in a loss. I'm not sure about that, but yes, if you want to sell any share with some listing and with some pricing on it, so you can add bots for it, and it will give you alerts when is the good time to sell, or when is the time you need to take some manual action there. No need to keep on monitoring it again and again. Okay, so and let's see one example which mentions like you have a website, like a e-commerce website like Amazon or Flipkart, and you sell some product. Okay, so in the market, if you want to stay competitive, you need to monitor what are the prices for that product in other platforms as well, right? And that's what they call dynamic pricing engine. And what happens is the let's say the prices are dropped on that other website, so you also need to drop it, and it is very difficult to manually do it. And for that, we use these bots. Companies use these bots. Okay, let's move on to the fourth section, which is real world pipeline. Okay, so in this case, there is no such industry as an input, because Selenium is integrated in the pipeline. So Selenium has some module which does the decision making for it, and whatever the actions which are required to be taken by a human are done by Selenium. Okay, and then even the delivery of the thing is done by Selenium itself. And for this example, as I mentioned, like I have a last section where you guys have to implement something. It is like assignment, and it has this exact same example for the same. And why I'm saying this is like I'll share one instance with you. So in my free time, I like to freelance, and I got one client here. So even they had a similar problem statement. Okay. So if you see here, I guess it's taking a bit longer to go. So if you see here, even they wanted a similar kind of a pipeline which uses AI. You people are AIDS branch, right? You have good data, like good information about AI, and you can use it nicely. So this person wanted me to have a decision making through AI and like scrape data from different sites and give some nicely proper workflow there. Okay, so this is related to what I was talking about, and this is a real example, right? I'm not just mentioning about anything random. It is, and I'll in the end I'll just show you how much that guy was ready to pay as well in the other chat. Okay, so this was about the real world pipeline. This was some other use case. So now you know Selenium is not just limited to testing, and there are many instances for it. Okay, so how do I become industry ready? So now